Hello and welcome to English for You. I'm Seb.
And I'm Kat.
And today we're going to be talking about the story of something that...
It's a very exciting topic.
It is a very exciting topic. I mean, that's the point of them, right?
Yes.
To be exciting.
Yeah, it makes you get so excited that you probably scream. Maybe you scream your lungs out. When was the last time you did one of these?
When was the last time? Oh, a long time ago. I think maybe 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's too long.
I know. I'm not really the kind of person who likes to scream in this way. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, no. I get scared. I'm a bit of a scaredy cat.
Oh, well, my name is Kat, but I am not a scaredy cat. I love these. These are roller coasters we're talking about, if you haven't figured it out yet. So I think the last time I was on a roller coaster was last October. During 10/10 holiday.
Where did you go?
I went to, what's that indigenous park near Sun Moon Lake?
Oh, I know the one.
Yeah,
yes.
it's a theme park near Sun Moon Lake, and they have a nice roller coaster there. It was pretty fun.
You go up the gondola to get to that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I screamed my head off. Yeah.
Not on the gondola.
Not on the gondola. Although I could have, I guess, but no, on the roller coaster I screamed my head off. It's always fun to do that.
Well, today we're going to be finding out a little bit about the story behind roller coasters. So let's take a look at today's article.
Reading.
The ups and downs of roller coaster history. When you think of a roller coaster, what comes to your mind? Is it a modern metal machine that allows people to go very fast on a track? If so, you're like most people. But what came before these quick and mighty roller coasters? Let's jump into the history of this exciting ride. The Russians were the first to build roller coasters. These were made a long time ago, in the 1600s, and were basically gravity rides. They built tall wooden ramps and covered them with water in winter, which soon turned to ice. To ride them, people would climb up a 21-meter ladder and then sit down on a sled. After being pushed, the rider would enjoy speeding down a 183-meter-long path. Big cities and small towns alike enjoyed the ice slides. The French took the idea back to France in the early 1800s and named it the Russian Mountain. Because France has a warmer climate, the French started to use wax slides instead of ice. Later, they began adding wheels to the sleds for more function throughout all of the seasons.
Okay, so we've been talking a little bit about roller coasters already, but the article begins by saying, when you think of a roller coaster, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Or we could also say, what comes to mind? Come to mind or come to someone's mind, this means to think of someone, especially when you see or hear something. The sentence means, when you think of a roller coaster, what do you think of?
That's a little bit of a weird question, but I understand what you're getting at.
Yeah, what's in your head?
What image appears in your mind?
Exactly. It could be like the teacups, for example. That's
not a roller coaster.
But it's a ride.
It's a ride, but it's not a roller coaster.
But not all of the roller coasters are big, metal structures with like little trains on them.
Yeah.
There's lots of different kinds. You might get one of those big ones that drops you down from the sky.
Also not a roller coaster.
Also not a roller coaster. I should not be teaching this article. Anyway, the point is, when I hear the word roller coaster, those things also come to mind. Maybe because they're also in theme parks.
Yeah.
They're all theme park rides.
Those are all theme park rides. And they can be as thrilling.
Yes, exactly. Okay, another phrase we could use is what springs to mind as well. This one's a little bit more creative. When we talk about something springing to mind, it's just the image that immediately pops up in your head. Okay, let's go through to our next sentence now.
All right. So what comes to mind when you think of a roller coaster? Is it a modern metal machine that allows people to go very fast on a track?
Is there another kind?
wooden ones.
Wooden ones, that's
Yeah.
true.
Most of them are either steel or wooden, but they're also like ice coasters. Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But first we need to know what a track is. A track is a noun that has a few different definitions. One could be the footprints that people or animals leave behind them, their tracks. Another is a path through the woods or over a mountain, basically a walking path. But this one that we're talking about is a track for a roller coaster, or a train, or a subway car. It's the same kind of thing. They're the metal bars that make the cars of the ride go in a certain direction. So the subway or the roller coaster train will never leave the track. It will only go on the direction of the track as long as it doesn't break. The trains will stay on the track. They only go where the track goes. When you see big metal or wood roads that the coaster goes down, that is its track. So you probably see like those big metal curvy tubes things.
Yes, those big lines.
Yeah, those are the tracks.
Yes.
Because that's what the roller coaster has to go on. So an example sentence is, this train's tracks cross a tall bridge over a river.
Okay, so yeah, we've got an example there. Not on a ride, but on a train track.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next sentence. If so, you're like most people. Well, not like me, apparently, because I thought of teacups. But yes, when most people think of roller coasters, that's what they picture. They picture kind of like a crazy train track, basically.
Yes. Yeah. And how crazy or what kind of crazy, that's up to you. So the article says, but what came before these quick and mighty roller coasters? That's an interesting question, and that means we're going to learn about their history. But first, we're going to take a look at this word, mighty. When we say something is mighty or it has might, which would be the noun, it means it's very big, powerful, and important. So something that is mighty might be an army, or maybe a person who has big muscles. You could call them mighty, especially if they can lift a lot or push something very strongly. So mighty kind of makes you think of strength, it makes you think of power, and it makes you think of, wow, that's really cool. So it's a good word, and it means kind of strong, like really, really strong or powerful. So an example sentence for mighty might be, the Roman Empire used to be the mightiest power in the world. That is true. They conquered most of Europe and some of Africa and Asia. That was pretty mighty.
Okay, so where did these strong and quick and mighty roller coasters come from? Well, let's jump into the history of this exciting ride.
All right.
Okay, this is where I was getting confused.
Okay.
Because before we were talking about roller coasters and I was talking about rides. Ride, that's a noun, and it's a large machine, vehicle, or structure that you use for fun. The rides most of us know best are roller coasters, the fast, crazy trains that you can ride around in a theme park or an amusement park. But there are lots of other rides at theme parks too. So the log flume, for example, was one of my favorites. Do you know
that's a good one.
Do you know the log flume?
Yeah, we have log flumes in the US as well.
Okay, they're pretty awesome. Do you want to tell them about it?
So it's kind of like a roller coaster, but it's based on water instead. So there's a track that takes you up and you go onto like a fake river. And then you ride the fake river until you go down a very steep drop and you splash everywhere. That's
exactly.
a log flume.
And you get soaked. You get very, very wet.
And Jeoju has one. Xiaorengguo has one. Does the Liufu have one? I think they probably do.
I think
so
they
there's
do.
several log flumes in Taiwan too.
Okay, see, I thought it was a British thing. But anyway, these are still rides because you have to sit on them, basically. You have to sit on them and they move. That's because ride comes from the verb to ride, which is to travel around by sitting on a vehicle or an animal. So let's look at an example sentence of ride now. You must be at least 1.5 meters tall to be allowed on this roller coaster ride.
So like this tall, I guess?
Yeah, about this tall. I was very short, which is another reason why I didn't go on lots of rides.
You're not short anymore.
Not anymore.
All right. So now we know that we are talking about the history of roller coasters. So the article says the Russians were the first to build roller coasters. I didn't know this, but they probably had like alpine coasters as well, which are a little bit different. It's like a mountain. You go to the top of a mountain, you have a track that goes all the way down.
I've done one of those before.
Where?
In the Czech Republic. But it was like a train, but it went down a hill and you sat in a little like buggy and the tracks took you all the way down. It's very, very fast, yeah. But the tracks keep you from flying off. Anyway, we're not talking about alpine coasters. We're talking about these early roller coasters. And these were made a long time ago in the 1600s and were basically gravity rides.
Okay.
Gravity, okay, that would probably be the easiest way of making a roller coaster.
Of course.
But that's because gravity is everywhere. It's the force that pulls things to Earth. If you drop your phone, gravity pulls it down to Earth. Another word for gravity in Chinese is zhongli.
Heavy power.
Heavy power, yes.
Yeah, makes sense. Gravity is heavy power. All right, so the article goes on to talk about what kind of roller coasters these Russians in the 1600s built. They built tall wooden ramps. A ramp is something that goes down kind of like this, and covered them with water in winter, which soon turned to ice. That makes sense. So yeah, like I said, a ramp goes down at, it can be anywhere from 20 degrees to probably almost 90 degrees. It's anything that's like a slide.
That you can slide down.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the word slide later, but basically a ramp is a smooth thing that goes down like this.
Basically.
Like a roller coaster.
Exactly. So to ride them, people would climb up a 21-meter ladder and then sit down on a sled. That sounds kind of dangerous.
21 meters
21
on a
meters.
ladder?
Yeah, that's like going up a building, isn't it?
Yeah.
Basically, that's like climbing to the top of your house.
Like this.
And then getting on a slide and then going down to the bottom on ice.
If it were stairs, I think I would tolerate that better. But a ladder?
I think it's the slide that I have a problem. The fact that they are sledding is a problem. But yes, ladder is, as we said, a tall, thin structure you carry around and climb to reach high places. So Clark climbed up the ladder to get to the roof of his house. That's an example sentence of how we can use them. And what I was really hoping to talk about were sleds, and that's because I love sleds.
Me too.
A sled is like a little cart without wheels. Instead of wheels, it has skis or kind of like long, flat sticks, basically, on the bottom. Metal. Pieces of metal and wood. So people use sleds to slide across snow or down ramps. So that's how this ride works. They got on the sled and they went down. So in the UK, when it snowed a lot, we would often slide around on sleds. We would go sledding. Sled can also be a verb. Did you do sledding a lot, Kat, when you were in the US?
Absolutely. Every winter, my family and I, we would go to a mountain kind of near our city, and there was lots of snow. So we didn't have like a sledge kind of sled. We had a disc, a big plastic disc with handles on the side. You'd sit on it and push yourself, and then you just go down like fa-choom.
You know, I've heard you can do it with a bin lid as well. Like a garbage can lid. You can sit on a garbage can lid and go sledding.
It's about the same shape. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Maybe that's what they were using in Russia in the 1600s.
I'm guessing it's probably a sledge. Yeah.
Okay, so let's find out a little bit more about this exciting ride, or dangerous ride.
Yeah.
I'm still not sure how I feel about this ride.
I think they probably took somewhat proper precautions. Then again, I don't know. So the article says, after being pushed, the rider would enjoy speeding down a 183-meter long path. Whew. So that's, a good almost a quarter kilometer.
Yes, pass. I don't want to. No.
Oh, you're not a roller coaster fan.
No,
I would do it. I'd do it.
I just don't trust 1600s, 17th century Russia to build a safe ride.
Okay, that's
I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up missing an arm, a leg, a limb, a head. Yes, by the time I get to the bottom. But they were very popular. The article says big cities and small towns alike enjoyed the ice slides. Okay, alike. So we can tell it's very popular because we're using this word. This is an adverb, and we use alike to mean that two things do something in the same way, or that they are similar. Big cities and small towns alike enjoyed the ice slides. That means both the big cities and the small towns enjoyed ice slides. Here's another example. This festival is very popular. Young people and old people alike look forward to it. Here, everyone is excited for the festival, both the young people and the old people. I wonder if young and old people alike were playing on the ice slides, though. Can you imagine a 70-year-old person?
I would guess not, because I think that once you start to get older, your stomach is less able to handle, like, high gravity forces. So, you know, a lot of people that I've met who are my parents' age say they can't go on roller coasters anymore because it makes them feel sick, which is really unfortunate. I hope that doesn't happen to me because I love roller coasters. I want to keep going on them always.
Well, you'd better carry on riding as much as you can now.
Yeah! Okay, so we're talking about this word slide, ice slides. You've probably already figured out what they are by now, but we're going to take a look at this word and learn a little bit more. All right, this word slide is a noun that is something you find on every playground, and every child loves them. They're the long, smooth tracks that go down at an angle, kind of like the word ramp that we saw before. And when you sit on it, you slide down fast. So we can also use slide as a verb. So we also use slides to do other things besides rides. Slides are also used to send people and things down from a high place to a low place. For example, if you have a lot of packages on a truck, you will probably use a ramp or a slide to take them down instead of carrying them. It's easier that way. Some rides in parks, in theme parks, are things like water slides, spiral slides, and so on. So you could have a slide that has a lot of water on it and you go down in your swimsuit. Or you have a slide that goes like this and it goes down like a DNA, kind of. So an example sentence of slide is, Leah went down the slide at the park with her young son, who screamed in excitement.
Okay, so this idea was very popular. So popular that the French took the idea back to France in the early 1800s and named it the Russian mountain. So fun fact, in Spanish, the word for roller coaster is montaña rusa, which also means Russian mountain. And I never knew the reason why. So
now we know.
Now we know.
I understand now. Yeah, that's interesting. So now we know the Russians were the inventors of the roller coaster, but the way that we have them now wasn't really how they had them back then, of course. We have ones that go faster now, they have more strict safety things, so that sort of thing. They're very different today. But we're going to learn about how they got to that point. The article says, because France has a warmer climate, the French started to use wax slides instead of ice. Wax is a substance that's usually made by bees, or it's made from other things like oil, usually like petroleum oil, like I think paraffin wax is made out of, kind of the same thing as gasoline is made out of. And it's often used for candles, like your candles are probably all made out of wax, or in things like makeup. Or also, if you want to rip your hair out of your legs, that's what wax is for.
Exactly.
It hurts. And it helps things to be more slick and shiny too. And that's why we use it on cars and on floors and also on old roller coasters.
Exactly. So obviously they couldn't wait around for the ice to form. If they were waiting around in France they might get one day where they could go on the Russian mountain.
Yeah, it's not that cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So later they started thinking of other ways to improve these roller coasters. The article says later they began adding wheels to the sleds for more function throughout all of the seasons.
That makes sense.
Okay, so function, that's our next word. And that is, a function is something that is used for something, or a use for something. So for example, a function of this video is to teach you English.
Yes.
By watching it, you're learning English, I hope. Stop looking at your phone. Back to the article, and people were finding that sleds could be used for different functions when they had wheels on them. So adding wheels made them more useful or more functional. That's the adjective form of function. Something that is functional does the job it's supposed to do. So we could say that Russians created the first functional roller coaster. Well, I certainly learned something today.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But I feel like this is not what the roller coasters are like now. We're talking about slides with carts.
Yeah, we don't have wax slides anymore or 21-meter ladders.
Exactly. I want to find out how they made the teacups.
I think we probably won't in this one, but you can look that up on your own. But we are going to learn more about how roller coasters got to where they are today, but that's going to be in tomorrow's article. So right now, we're going to go to our For You chat.
You Chat.
All right, our For You Chat question for today. Have you ever been on a roller coaster? How was it? Talk about your experience. Have you been on one?
I have.
And the other part of the question. If you have never been on one, what do you imagine it would be like? So that's for you if you've never been on one, but you have.
Yes, yeah. Well, we were just talking about this before, and I just realized that the ride that I went on is not a roller coaster, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because it's still a theme park ride. It was called G-Force, and it was kind of like a big barrel, okay? So like a big cylinder, which you go inside, and you're not strapped in, you're just standing inside the barrel.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And it starts to turn and spin faster and faster and faster, and you get pushed against the walls because it's going so fast.
Centrifugal force.
Exactly, and it makes your stomach feel all weird, and then it lifts up into the air, and I absolutely loved it. But you're not such a big fan of spinny rides,
I mean, if it's a big spin, I think it's better. But if it's a small spin, like if you're sitting like on one of those things where you turn the table and it spins, or like the teacups.
The teacups.
Oh, it makes me want to throw up. I like roller coasters because I can see where they're going. That's one of my things.
Yeah. Yes, that's definitely one of the exciting things. But you still get that stomach feeling, don't you? The G-force feeling when you go down a very fast roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly.
So what roller coasters have you guys been on? Talk about your experiences, talk about the roller coasters you would like to go on. There's a lot of great parks in Taipei, in Taiwan. And we will join you tomorrow when we're going to be talking more about how roller coasters became the way they are today.
Okay.
So for English for You, I'm Seb.
I'm Kat.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review. Track. The train tracks near my house are fun to walk along, but it's not legal to play on them. Mighty. There is a mighty redwood tree in California that is over 1,000 years old and 50 meters tall. Ride. My sister and I want to go on all the rides at the water park this weekend. Alike. Small children and adults alike can have fun at playgrounds in parks. Slide. My daughter likes to climb the ladder on the slide and then yell while going down it. Function. The function of my bike is to allow me to travel around the city while getting some exercise.
智慧小补帖
Gravity. Ramp. Sled.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net